you doing with your finger? How'd you do that?
I've got really flexible fingers.
That bothers me. I don't like it.
La, la, la.
Hey guys.
Hi.
We're the Awkward Parts, and welcome to our new apartment living room.
Check out the background. These awesome posters that are mine because I'm a nerd.
Yes.
Obviously.
And there will be a vlog of us showing off the apartment. We're gonna wait for her to finish unpacking.
Yeah.
So you can actually see her room. That's right now boxes.
Yeah. I'm a little late to the party at the moment.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome to a story time. This week we are going to talk about
dating experiences and the bad ones.
Dating
experience. Notice me.
Horrible dating experience. Bad dates. Awkward dates.
Yes.
Well, do you want to start then?
I would like to start. So this date wasn't really necessarily a bad one. This is one of the ones where it actually ended up kind of weird and not great. Mostly with the guy that I went on a date with. So I was a sophomore in high school. This was actually my very first date I've ever gone on. And it was to the Sadie Hawkins dance, which is a girls' choice dance. So I was a part of this, well, I had a friend who was a part of a friends group. I was never really included in the friends group. This one friend who was a part of this group was talking about the Sadie Hawkins dance and how it was coming up and who she was going with, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. But I don't know if I'm going because I don't really know anyone. She's like, oh my gosh, well there's this one guy in our group that has never been asked to a girls' choice dance, and he would love it if somebody were to ask him. And I was like, okay, well introduce me to him after school and I'll see if I want to. So it's after school and I meet up with her and this guy, and he seems like a really cool dude. Like, he and I had sort of similar interests. At least he was a huge like Star Wars nerd, and at the time I was a closet nerd, and I was like, ew, Star Wars, that's weird. And I was like, oh, I love Star Wars. I was like, well, I'm not really attracted to the guy, but I wouldn't mind asking him to the dance because he seems like a really sweet,
fun friend dude.
Exactly. And so I ended up asking him to the dance, and he said yes. So come the date, or the dance, the day of the dance, and we're doing our day activity, which we went to the park to decorate t-shirts for each other. It was so much fun, and the group that I was with were hilarious. Like, it was a blast. But like, we were at this park and they had a bridge somewhere off. Got this really nice, bridge that's crossing this really pretty waterfall. And my date was like, hey, do you want to come check out the bridge with me? And I was like, sure. And it's like away from the friends group. And, little innocent me was like, okay, I love bridges. And so we go to the bridge and he's like all trying to be like, hey, like trying to romance me. And I was like, all right, can we go back? Like,
go bridge, let's go back.
I know, we were literally on there for like a minute, and when I was seeing him trying to be like all cool and like trying to sweet talk me, and I'm like, alright, I'm having none of this, I'm sorry, I don't like you this way, so let's just go back to the group.
Did you actually say that?
No, well, I said it very kindly. I was like, oh, this is really nice. We should go see what the other guys are doing. And he's like, okay, fine, because I obviously wasn't interested. So
obviously.
We go back, we go play in the park, and then we were going to have dinner before the dance. And so we went to one of the girls' house, and she had a really nice house. Like, her basement was wide open. She had like a little bar in her basement. It was super nice. And so we would play outside in the backyard for a little bit because she had like a seesaw and everything. This is really horrible of me, but there was a guy that was in the same group that was with someone else that I really liked. He was super cute, and I kind of wanted to like flirt a little bit, even though I was on a date with another guy. I know, I'm the worst. I'm that scumbag that flirts with other guys when she's on a date with someone else. But like, I wasn't like full on like, hey, how's it going? Totally noticed me. Ignore your date. I'm gonna ignore my date. Like, it was very, very subtle, and I wanted to, talk to him. But my date was not gonna have any of that. I was on a date with him, and he wanted to make that known. So we were on the seesaw, and I was just messing around. One of the guys kind of like falls off the seesaw, and like my date comes running over and sits down and like glares at this other guy that I was trying to talk to, and I was like, okay, geez. He like did that the entire night. Like if I tried to talk to any other guy, he would be like there. And he's like, don't talk to my date. Like, he never said anything, but he definitely gave off that air of, like, you are on a date with me. You're not talking to anyone else. And so that was definitely a turn off. But all in all, even though all that happened, it was a really fun date, and it was probably one of the best dating experiences I've had. But it was after the date. After the night was over, I obviously remained friends with this guy. But I stuck to my little group of friends, and he had his own other group of friends that I wasn't a part of. Me, Heather, and another friend, I remember at lunch, this happened for the rest of the year after this dance. So, after lunch, we like to walk around the school a little bit until the bell rang.
Right.
We didn't know what else to do.
Right.
And so we'd be walking for like, I don't even know, like 10 minutes, and I'd feel someone had like following us, and so I turn around, and it was my date. And he had been following us for 10 minutes, nothing a word. Luckily, he was a senior and he graduated.
Oh, good.
However, he ended up asking me to homecoming after he was graduated.
After he graduated?
After he graduated.
He asked you to your homecoming.
Yes.
Please tell me you said no.
I said no.
Alright, so the one that she reminded me of, in high school, I wasn't technically supposed to have a boyfriend. It was kind of a house rule. I did it anyways.
Because
rebellion, that was my rebellious phase. Me and this guy were dating, but we weren't allowed to go to 2 dances in a row. So I could go with him and then someone else and then him. When my parents realized I'm not going to listen to, I didn't really obey the no boyfriend rule, they came up with the you can't date the same guy twice in a row rule. Or go on a date with the same guy twice in a row. Which didn't bother me. I had fun dating in high school. We were dating, and we had gone to, I want to say it was Sweethearts. No, it wasn't Sweethearts because I asked. I can't remember what dance it was. But the next dance, because I only dated for dances, I only went on dates for dances, other than that we hung out at each other's house. Anyways. I give that one a solid 7.
Yes!
So, I ended up having to ask another guy out for a dance. I can't remember what it was, but I remember that it was Disney themed.
Aww.
So I want to say it was like Mork.
Did you get to like dress up as Disney characters?
Yes, we dressed up.
Oh, that's not fair! Why
we
did
dressed
my
up as
stuff like that?
Wendy and Peter Pan, because his nickname was Peter Pan, but I gave him.
I'm so jealous right now.
And so the first time I met him, me and a girl were sitting in the back of my friend's van. And he walks in and we go, "You're right?" And he goes, "No, it's Pete. My name's Peter." Being sarcastic. And we go, "Oh, Peter Pan, will you take us to Neverland?" And for some odd reason, it just kind of stuck. And so we thought it would be funny if we went as Peter Pan and Wendy.
It's only appropriate.
I asked this guy out. My boyfriend's okay with it. He understands the rule. He's cool with it. And my friend asked me if she could ask out my boyfriend. I'm like, as long as he's okay with it, that's fine. Because I wasn't too terribly happy with it because I knew she liked him. But I knew she wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah, that's good.
So we go on this date. And we're at the day activity. And, you know, my boyfriend's there. I want to spend time with my boyfriend. But at the same time, it's like, but you're here with another
Follow
guy.
my example and don't care.
Well, see, what ended up happening is my boyfriend at the time had to leave a little early to go do, I don't remember what. Mm-hmm. And so I left to go take him home. So I left my date to take my boyfriend home. Well, even better, because I'm pretty sure that was the same night I first dislocated my knee. Well, it popped in and out. It didn't like pop out and stay out.
Still.
Which is done before, and it's not pleasant. And so anyways, at the dance, we were dancing whatever, and I jumped up, and I landed wrong. And my kneecaps are kind of weird, so they pop out very easily. And it hurts like heck.
I would imagine.
And so my kneecap ended up popping out, and I'm crumpled on the floor crying in pain.
This has gone horribly wrong!
a teacher came over with a pack of ice. I had my boyfriend and my date carrying me over to a chair.
Oh.
And I had both of them sitting with me while I iced my knee before I could go dance. And I'm like,
That seems really awkward.
I don't know who I want to comfort me right now.
I'd be like, okay, hold my hand, I'm just gonna squeeze.
Well, it's like by then it wasn't hurting. Or it wasn't hurting nearly as bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still like,
It's like, oh, what do I do?
I really want, like, I know I should be, like, focusing on, because he's my date, but at the same time, like, my boyfriend's sitting right here and ignoring his date. That was my, not really bad date. I don't think I've ever had any bad dates. It's just awkward.
Uh-huh. I had this other guy that I went on a date with. I met him in a singles ward, or in my old singles
My old shingles ward.
in my old singles ward, and he asked me on it. So I guess I sat on the bench that he normally sits, and he usually sits by himself.
How dare you sit on someone else's pew?
I know but he comes and he sits down and he like tries to make conversation to make things a little less awkward, and which was totally fine. But it was like in the middle of the meeting, and so like I couldn't talk, and like the heater that was next to us was super loud, so I couldn't hear a word he was saying. Like after the meeting was done, he asked me on a date. Like, I'm kind of taking a shot in the dark, but would you like to go on a date with me? And I'm like, I don't have any reason to say no, so sure, why not? I don't know you. I barely know your name, but I'd be down. So we go on this date. We went to Farmington Station, which is like this really nice like mall area.
It's a strip mall.
It's really, really nice. It's got like
it's not really a strip mall. It's kind of like an outdoor mall.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty, and they've got fountains, and it's pretty romantic if you go on a date with someone that you like.
Or if you go with me.
Or if I go with my senpai. We're on this date, and like we're making conversation, but while we were making conversation, he is like he's putting his hand around my waist. He's like trying to put his hand on my shoulders. I'm like, dude, I don't know who you are. This is a first date. Like, I don't know if that's normal for other people.
I did that too.
You think I did that too? Isn't that so awkward? Is it just
I will tell you that story after this.
Oh my gosh,
That'll
so
be
he
my
was
last
like
story.
touchy-feely. He was all over me, and I'm like, I am straight as a board. Like, I was obviously super stiff and uncomfortable with it, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be a jerk, and I was really shy, and I don't date a lot, so I don't know what to do. And the questions he was asking me was just like red flags all over the place. Like, he said things that would like try to make me feel bad for him. He was like, yeah, I got in a lot of fights when I was in high school. He had like...
that sucks for you. You shouldn't have gotten in fights.
I know, and that's what I was kind of thinking. But like, he showed me, he had like this scar on his ear where somebody had actually like ripped part of his ear off. And he kept like showing that off to me. He's like, yeah, some guy like grabbed my ear and ripped it. And I was like, I mean, I like scars, but you don't need to remind me that it's there. I mean, cool. And then he would ask me, like, so, like, when do you want to get married? Not, like, with him, but, like, just as, like, a general question. He's like, oh, what temple do you want to get married in? How many kids do you want to have? And this is the first date, mind you.
Don't
first
ask
date.
on first dates.
No, marriage shouldn't be even in conversation at this point. But he was, like, going all out. Like, what kind of house do you want to live in? And I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. I was so uncomfortable throughout this entire date.
I would have ended it early.
Again, I don't know how to date, so I just endured it and was uncomfortable the entire time. Date ends. He says, he drops me off at my house. He's like, I really had a fun time. I really want to take you out again. And I'm like, well, I'll think about it and I'll let you know if I'm available, but at the moment I'm kind of busy with work. Because I had just started a job, so I was like, I'll let you know. I don't say anything about dating. However, we do talk. But he texted me one day and he's like, I'm free this day. Do you want to go on a date? And I was like, well, I work that day. I don't know if I'll be available. So I don't know.
Just tell me you have a boyfriend.
I wanted to, but it wouldn't have made sense at the time. But I never told him no, but I never said yes when he asked me. So it was like, whatever. So I'm at work. The day that he suggested comes, and my dad calls me like an hour before I get off work. He's like, hey, you have someone here that's waiting for you. And I'm like, oh, who? And it was the guy that took me on this date. And I was like, oh, well, I'm still at work. I have an hour left. Tell him to
Go home.
Go home because I can't leave work early. And he's like, okay, well, we'll see what we can do. And so I get off work and I go home and his truck is parked in front of my house. And I'm like, oh, crap. He came back. And so I went in and
He never leave?
He never left. He waited that entire hour at my house and waited for me to come home so we could go on a second date.
That's rude.
I know. Well,
that is so rude.
I see him. I'm like, oh, hey, I wasn't expecting you. I was like, yeah, well, you never really gave me an answer, so I just figured I'd come and see if you wanted to go. And I was like, okay, well, let me go get ready. And so I went and I pulled my dad and I was like, how long has he been here? And he's like, he's been here an entire hour just waiting for you. We even told him, like, you're not going to be here. There's no point in you staying. But he insisted on staying. And so I was forced on a second date with this guy because he wasn't going to leave. And I don't know how to say no. So we went on a second date and the exact same thing happened. And he was all touchy-feely and he was asking me more about marriage questions. He texted me, like, after the date was done. He wanted to go on a third date. Again, I said, I'll think about it. A couple days later, I sent him a text. Yes, I sent him a text telling him I wasn't interested in him and that I didn't want to go on a date with him, but I would love to be friends.
That one was probably a smart move to do over text.
I hope so, because I felt like a huge jerk afterwards.
There are times where it's okay to do it with text, but the guy's like that.
It was
that is okay. This guy I also met in the singles ward.
Singles ward is the fastest.
I am very shy. I have extreme social anxiety. I don't like talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm alone in church, I sit by myself and I pray no one sits next to me. And no one actually when I met this other guy. And I actually was sitting by myself. I was sitting by myself in Sunday school. And I'd seen this guy walking around and I talked to him kind of. I made stupid comments because he was an accountant. Or he was going into accounting, and I've done accounting, and I hate accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've only ever made really kind of off comments. So I'm sitting in Sunday school, just kind of waiting for it to start, whatever. In Sunday school, they pass around a roll to see who attends. So anyways, I'm sitting there waiting for class to start. The roll's going around, and he had the roll, and he slid up he came and sat in the chair next to me to give me the roll. And at the time, I was wearing these heels I have that are denim, that are also like 3-inch heels. And so he sat down next to me and he commented me on my shoes and my skirt, because my skirt matched my shoes because I was wearing a denim skirt, because there's nothing really else to wear when you're wearing denim shoes. He asked me for my number and I gave it to him because why not? And he asked me out on a date, and I want to say we went and saw Les Mis.
Oh, that's a fun date.
We went and saw a movie. I know we went and saw a movie. I don't remember if it was Les Mis or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just kind of sitting there enjoying the movie. At one point in the movie, I crossed my legs like this. He
don't tell me.
Grabbed my leg and moved it over into his lap.
This is a first date.
And he was sitting there
do that.
rubbing my leg.
Ah! I feel like we start kicking him. Get off of me!
And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to move my leg. I mean, like, I'm just this. That's like what he was doing. Is like he's just like playing with
my bitch.
Well, not quite like that, but like he's just like playing with my knee and just rubbing my leg like you would do if you were dating.
It's like, this is the first date, bruh.
And so I'm sitting there
Chill.
like, I'm awkward, I'm uncomfortable, and he had to get up to go to the bathroom. So, I moved my leg and I crossed it like this. The other way. So he couldn't grab my leg again.
That's brilliant.
We pull up to my house and he's like, I want to give you a kiss, but I'm sick. I'm like, that's okay. I don't kiss on the first date.
What?
I don't know. I actually ended up dating him for like a month though. We weren't like actually dating. I went through this phase of where I called it casual dating, where we weren't like actually serious, but we went on dates and we made out.
Okay. I
did that with like, well, this was after my bad relationship.
Oh, okay.
And so I really didn't want a boyfriend at the time because I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you need help with those, please go talk to someone. They're not fun and they suck and you need to get out. Let us know what other kind of story times you want to see in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up so we know you liked it, so we'll keep doing it. We would love it.
Oh yeah.
We would also love it if you'd subscribe to our channel, so that way you won't miss a video. We upload every Saturday. We also do vlogs randomly when we go on adventures.
We try to pretend our lives are exciting.
Follow our Twitter. We have there'll be a link in the description to that. I can't talk. I can't English.
There will also be a link for our other storytime videos if you enjoyed this one. That way you can get to know us a little bit more
go check
and
it
our awesome experiences in life. Because we're, again, exciting people. My hair, though. Nope. Be sure to check out for part 2. Which should be coming out here pretty quick.
Sometime. We will also be working on some new projects for you guys. I'm super excited because we can actually sit down now and plan things.
Because we got a place.
Because we have a house.
And we're together in the same place so we can actually sit down and coordinate more properly rather than being like, okay, we're just gonna do this and wing it.
Which we did tonight, but that's okay. Yep. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye!